banking report raises some interesting points, not least about the breakdown in trust between customers and lenders. Can this damage be repaired, and if so, how long will it take?
I think there's absolutely been a damage to the trust because relationships have been built up over many years. Many of our customers have banked with the same bank for 20, 30 years, and although their business hadn't changed, the requirements of the bank changed, largely I think because of the capital adequacy requirements, which meant the bank suddenly needed to get cash in. So relationships were broken by when, for example, the bank demanded immediate repayment of overdrafts and things like that. So I think those damage to relationships where businesses thought the bank is going to continue to support me, we might go through difficult times together, but we'll come out the other end. That didn't happen, and so now I do think there's a real serious problem, and it will be very difficult to overcome. I did go to a talk last year with the chairman of the British Banking Association, and he gave a very good quip, which was trust arrives on a bus and leaves on a Ferrari, and I think I would share that view. That after a long time waiting, there is going to be an investigation into what we see as a dominance by the big four banks. Unfortunately, the scope of that report is now quite limited, the investigation. That's due to lobbying by the bank, and I'm concerned that lobbying may continue and how really independent that report will be.
And finally, today's session looks forward. What do you think is going to be the future for small business lending, and how can those barriers to growth be addressed?
I think a really key point will be for businesses and banks to start speaking the same language. I covered that when I spoke. I think it's a massive problem that banks are looking for either security or answers to questions about how their investment is going to be protected. And I think businesses need to understand that they need to address that requirement if they're going to get lending. And I think that applies not simply to the banks, but if you are going to go out to peer-to-peer lending, angel funding, joint ventures, equity investment, I think people need to up their game in terms of their understanding of their own business and how they can give confidence to others.